Alright, Scott, we're getting ready for Badbeat 9, going up against Gabe Ruediger again, a repeat fight. Last time you're victorious, and rumor has it this is a retirement fight for the both of you. Does that add a little bit more pressure?
No, the pressure's all on him. I was retired. I was ready to go. Other things in life, coaching high school football, dealing with family, um, and basically he annoyed me into a rematch. So he's the one that lost. The pressure's all on him. He's the one. He lost. He made a bunch of excuses. There's no pressure on me.
Yeah, and we all saw your Facebook post a little while back.
Hmm.
You want to kind of elaborate on that?
Yeah. Well.
Because it was kind of wordy,
Well.
but to the T what it was about.
Well. I don't really do fighter talk and to try to hype things up and make myself look or convince myself of certain things. I'm a straightforward type of person, and I just frankly I don't like him. I don't respect him. I didn't come to that. I didn't just jump to that. I'm sure there's people throughout my lifetime that don't like me, but the people who don't like me because of something they've seen peripherally. You'll rarely find someone that actually sat down and talked to me, or that gets to know me, or that knows what I've been through and knows what I've done, that dislikes me. So I didn't want to be that guy with Gabe. So there's a history, there's accumulation of things that got me to the point where I don't like him. I didn't just say, "Oh, I don't like the guy," something about him. No, there was a whole number of things that led up to me really disliking him.
Yeah, you guys do tend to have a little bit of a tough history, especially with the last fight. And you were considered the underdog, and you proved them wrong. But going into this, Gabe, in an interview that we had, which we're posting up today, he said he's going to finish you off.
Oh hell, yeah, like he. Okay, let me. Well, what else is he gonna say? I mean, that's what Gabe always says. I finish fights. Everybody knows I finish fights. But once again, styles make fights, and I'm gonna go back a little bit further. So this might take more than a minute.
Okay.
My first, but it clears things up for pretty much everybody. My first history of knowing Gabe was back when I actually paid attention to the Ultimate Fighter.
Right.
Um, it was at a time in my life where I had already went to college. I had already played arena football. I had already earned my law degree. I was the ruthless, scary, don't care about anything guy had been replaced by the single father who was thrust in the single fatherhood of a teenage boy and an autistic son who couldn't speak. That Ultimate Fighter was my weight class, and with the context that I know and people I know, there was an opportunity that maybe I could have gone, but my son couldn't handle being away from me for 6 hours,
Right.
let alone 6 weeks. So the day that I saw that his famous "put me back in" episode, my son had tantrumed for a good 2 hours. My older son was in his room, locked in his room, playing his three different computer systems, pouting because his mom basically abandoned them, and angry with dad because they always blame the dad. And I'm sitting here watching the show with bites on my arm, bleeding. I work in a psych hospital at night, and my dad's my babysitter. I work with kids all day. I work 12-hour days, and I'm sitting here watching a guy cry, cutting weight.
Mm-hmm.
We all go through that. It's hell for everybody. And BJ Penn's the coach. It's like, this BJ Penn, and you're a jujitsu guy, and you're crying. Suck it up. We all go through it. So that was my first experience with him. So I just kind of went, really? Okay. So that was the first time I ever saw the guy. Fast forward to later on when we're gonna fight. The only interview that he mentioned me was the Bamma interview leading up to Bamma 5. All his other interviews, he was talking about his other fight that was going to happen 3 weeks after our fight. That was against another former UFC guy, and it was going to resurrect his career and blah, blah, blah. So he wasn't even thinking about me. I was an afterthought. And when you interviewed him, the man couldn't get my name right. He could caught and when you asked him about me being the best boxer that he's going up against, oh, I must not know something about Caitlin. It's like, my name is Catlin, man. It's Catlin, just how it's spelled. So point being is, the guy wasn't even overlooking me. So he was overlooking me, but I wasn't even on his mind. I didn't even exist. And that was my experience leading up. I had UFC fighters, black belt, jiu-jitsu world champion competitors come up to me, oh, Scott, I don't like that guy. I hope you knock him out. My Brazilian accent is horrible, but a lot of Brazilians, oh, he talked down to everybody. He think he's special and blah, blah, blah. And I still didn't pass judgment. I still didn't go there with him.
Right.
I was like, okay, he might have, it just might be his personality. He might try to be funny, and he's really not funny, or whatever. His other interviews, he's like, well, I don't know why they call him KO Catlin. I don't see a lot of knockouts on his record. Well, first of all, there's 3 knockouts that aren't on there, and I didn't give myself that nickname. I started fighting in Cage of Fire in the auditorium in Tijuana. And the KO came from the fans who were always chanting KO, KO when I fought, because I would fight wrestlers and I'd knock them woozy, and that was when I had no wrestling, and they would take me down and the fans would get angry. So it was the fans and my opponents that gave me that nickname. But I think Gabe maybe he's figured out that maybe I punch a little bit harder than he thought back then. So now fast forwarding, I know this is taking long, but everybody needs to understand this. This is the first time that I've had 15 fights. This is the first time I dislike somebody. This is not the first event that Gabe tried to get a rematch with me in. After our fight, a few months after, I heard from a mutual friend, very reliable source who can remain nameless, that Gabe was, because I asked, how come Gabe hasn't fought again? Well, this source told me that, Gabe's dealing with some family health issues, not his health. So me being me, I reach out to the man, send him a message. Hey, Gabe, it was an honor to compete against you. I hope everything's going well for you. I hope that whatever's going on, it gets resolved, and I look forward to you resuming your career. Response, oh, thanks. I don't know what you heard, but everything's fine, blah, blah, blah. So over the next few months, we share some friendly emails. So I'm like, okay, maybe he's not like I thought he was. Then, lo and behold, in February, I get a message from Gabe. Hey, Scott, promoter, he'll just say promoter X. Is such and such, this person's been trying to reach you. And I'm going, oh, yeah, I know of that guy, but I don't know him. Do you know what it's about, Gabe? Oh, I don't know, but here's his phone number. He's really been trying to get in touch with you. So what ends up happening, I go, oh, thanks, Gabe. I'll give him a call. So I call Promoter X, and Promoter X goes, hey, Scott, I know you're retired, but I'm having a big event in April. What would you feel about fighting Gabe Ruediger again in the main event? He specifically asked to fight you.
Kind of threw you off, didn't it?
I was like, wait, did this grown-ass man just give me another man's number so this other man can ask me to fight him? Instead of just saying, hey, man, look, I don't like the way it turned out. Can I have a rematch, blah, 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 whatever. Just ask me, man to man. He acts like he doesn't know what's going on, and sends me to another guy. That's some female stuff. I'm going to try not to make you have to bleep stuff out. So I didn't take it. I was like, I don't care. I got other things. I don't have anything to prove. Everybody's like, why, what's the point? Why fight him again? And then he does it again. But I had already heard whispers that Gabe's trying to get a rematch. May 31st, he's trying to come back to Bamma. And I was like, oh, lo and behold. So basically, he annoyed me into a rematch. Now he's talking trash. He's calling me names. He's calling me names on the internet? Oh, no. I'm the wrong guy for that. This is the first time that the ruthless gangster You know, guy who grew up, had a rough childhood, had guns in his face, would was so competitive. If he couldn't win a video game, he would break the machine and instead of let the game finish. That guy was long gone when I stepped onto a mat. Jiu-jitsu fighting has always been about the competition, the process of becoming a better person. That's how it's always been for me. So the guy that I was 37 my first fight, 37 years old. This is, like I said, this is the first time the guy with skills is meeting the guy that kills. This is not cool. I do not like you, man. You got me. Be careful what you ask for, homie. Now for this fight specifically, when we went to last fight, I specifically said, you will remember, Gabe's gonna try the stand up. At some point, I think he's gonna take it to the mat. If he takes it to the mat, if we're on the mat, it's because Gabe takes it there. I didn't care if we went to the mat. And I made that clear. And everybody should have seen that during the fight. When Gabe got his takedown, I was standing right in front of him. He got a takedown. If you go back and look at the video, I smirk. Like, really? And gave him my back. That whole round, if everybody wants to go back and look and turn up the audio, I was running my mouth the whole time. You're wasting your time. Don't get tired. You don't have anything coming. And that was the blue belt talking to the black belt. There's actually a point where they zoom in on the camera and I look at the camera and go, it's the rope-a-dope. Then at the end of the round, you guys all will see, I push his legs off and look at him like, that's it? And then kind of go back to my corner and it's like, all right, okay, now it's time. This time around, Gabe has to, there's only one way for Gabe to win. Land a lucky strike or close the distance and get a takedown. But guess what? I'm a counterpuncher, Gabe. If you rush at me, that's better for me. And I'm not going to stand right in front of you this time because I don't want to go to the mat. I want to kick your ass. I'm going to move around. And if you get knocked woozy, I'm probably not going to finish you. I'm probably going to back up. So yeah, you finish me. That's the only way you're going to win this fight because you can't break me. I'm not going to get tired. You are messing with the wrong person, homie.
So you wanted to go all 3 rounds just so...
I want it to go as long as it goes. Don't quit on the stool.
Okay.
Man.
Is that how you saw yourself retiring? With a fight that is more personal than respectful, it seems?
No, I actually I had resigned myself to the fact that okay, I got other things. I got to be healthy. I got to, I got a tendency to break something in a fight. My family needs me. It puts a strain on them. But I did tell Brett that if I had official retirement, that I would do it in Bamma. And I'm a man of my word. I keep my word. And and I'm not one that makes excuses. And in fighting, you shouldn't. It's a one-on-one sport. That's why I liked it. I played football, I played basketball, but you got to worry about everybody else. In fighting, either you get the job done or you don't. You don't make excuses, especially if you're a BJJ black belt. That it was disrespectful to my instructor. I've had one instructor my entire time, Elias Gallegos, who's a Dean Lister black belt, almost 20 years of experience. What, he don't think I know jiu-jitsu? You don't put that because it looks good.
You talked a lot about Gabe. You talked about past fights with him, your other past fights, how we know you are a stand-up guy. You're true to your word. Going into this fight, let's focus on you now. You are 10 days out from the fight. What do you see as being the most important thing you need to focus on within this last 10 days?
I'm focused already. To be honest, I was overweight. I was sitting around. I had the surgery. My wife cooks great. She's the best. And then I let Gabe pick the weight.
160.
Yeah, but I said anywhere from 160 to 170. And he picked 160. So in my I don't like doing road work just to run. That's just never been my thing. It's just boring. But in my he pushed what I call my ghetto button. I have this like thing I left way in the past, like where I just snap. He almost gave me like cardio OCD because I was out of shape. That I've trained, like done so much cardio that I'm actually in better shape than I ever been.
Scott Catlin, this is your retirement fight. Is there anyone specific that you are dedicating this fight to?
Oh well, this will show you my level of annoyance and pissed off. My wife and daughters have never seen me compete.
Are they going to this fight?
They're going to this fight.
Okay.
Last fight, I had about 8 people in the stands. And there's been fights where I've driven myself and not even know who my corner is going to be and had nobody in the stands, hundreds of miles. There's going to be people. I'm telling people, hey, go watch. Go watch this one. I'm telling you, I'm calling you out. If you support me or if I've been good to you in the past, go watch this fight.
Well, Scott, it seems like this is the fight to really look forward to. There's a lot of good fights on this. 2 title fights, a pretty highly anticipated main event. But this one especially, being that it's a repeat fight, it's a rematch, both retirement fights, it's something to look forward to. I just want to say I wish you the best of luck for these last 10 days, getting ready for weigh-ins. Stay healthy. And you have your focus already down, so just sending you positive vibes, and hopefully everything turns out in your favor, okay?
Well, thanks. I appreciate it. I'm so focused, I forgot to mention, I got to thank Longevity. We will have a booth there. My business partner, Leo Alva, from Team Spartan, will be running that, so make sure everybody come by. But thanks. I appreciate the time, and thanks for bearing with me.
All right, Scott, looking forward to seeing you. We got a lot more things that we got to get done, so we'll be seeing you soon. And
I know the world doesn't revolve around me. I know that. I know you guys got things to do. You gave me my time. I appreciate it. Go take care of everybody else and all the other stuff you need to take care of. I'll be ready.
in this last week and a half, just take care of yourself, and we'll see you soon, okay?
I will.
All right, best of luck. Get ready for Badbeat 9, Scott Catlin versus Gabe Ruediger.